Alrighty. Welcome, everyone, to I can't even talk today already. Creative Disarray's representation and presentation of Road to WrestleDeep. We have a little bit of an early showing today with just Louie to let him kind of play some catch up and live his childhood dreams in a new and fantastical way. You want to take a quick second to introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, be my guest.
Well, my name is Louie, or Team Louie. I've been playing TTRPGs for about 2 years, primarily D&D. I've been a big wrestling fan since 1995. And when I saw this on Threads, I saw wrestling D&D, I said, yes, hello, sign me all the way up. And I was kind of surprised I got picked. But here we are, and now we're ready to roll.
Well, all right. I'm not gonna lie, your energy. So I will say real quickly, everyone's energy really kind of surprised me when I put this out, and Dis and I really worked on it. Being really relatively unknown in many different senses, but really getting into the community. So the feedback and just response was outstanding. So thank you to everyone that is involved. I appreciate you doing it. The energy you've brought is already amazing, along with everybody else. So we're just gonna do a quick run through. So, all right, Louie, you as your character find yourself in the upper city of Baldur's Gate, specifically in the Wide. Normally, if you've gone through being maybe who you are, trying to see what you can get out of maybe people's pockets or what you can see in the marketplace, it's normally filled just wall to wall, dirt ground, covered in tents, marketplaces, people walking about looking for sales before the sun even comes out, all the way till after it closes before they break down the tents. Today, however, it is filled with a giant swarming crowd of people all cheering and pushing their way towards a new structure that's not normally there. The statue of the guardian is there overlooking this process, but there is also a wooden framework that's kind of built around that, kind of perched up about 6 feet in the air with benches and tables and bleachers and what for kind of more well-to-do folk. There's standing room around this giant, wrestling ring structure, and just other bleachers and things like that that you would kind of see in a normal professional wrestling open area kind of thing. It's a little bit more above indie, going more on the professional side. But you also do see banners that say FWW, and the Faerun World Wrestling is the one putting it on, and they're the ones that have kind of taken over this new craze of professional wrestling in the realm, and they're the big corporation behind a lot of it. You've kind of known there's some territories, as it were, in smaller groups and indies, but there is that feeling that the FWW still has their hand in a lot of it. They're still the type that pushes away any talk of anyone coming together for unionizing or things like that. They're just this presence that is well known to be the corporate presence. You do see pillars that are kind of risen up, and there are some magical holographics of the wrestlers and the FWW symbol that's playing on today. You do see this tiefling woman who's very imposing looking. She's kind of got this purple hued skin, kind of the ram horn style pulled to the back, and she also has this face paint that is kind of a half done, that's in the traditional De Morte, I'm saying that totally wrong, just jack that up, but the skull and kind of candy work with some lavender flowers kind of filigreed into it. And just piercing eyes, kind of the arms crossed, and above her it says Lavender Lightning. On another pillar, we have this, obviously, just a very pompous presentation of this long flowing gold hair that just seems to go wherever he wants it to rather than the wind. Very high elven appearance, pointed ears, primmed hair, like once again, kind of perfectly somehow making it away so it can flow in its own way. And just the smuggest look you could imagine. And above that, you see the stunning Shoel. And on the final pillar, you see one more human gentleman who looks a little bit more grizzled. He has this menacing look, but it's kind of menacing and jovial at the same time. Got a wide, brimmed hat with a tassel jacket on it, a beard that's very well kept, but just kind of also crazed, happy look in his eyes. And above that, it says Mr. Macho. As everybody is pouring in. The crowd is trying to push you, get closer to the ring to get standing distance. You see all kinds of people and folks from the lower part of the city, outside of the city. Everybody's here. The Black Gate was wide open so people could come in and witness this show, as it is been touted as the first show that will present a new title for the FWW, and it's the Sword Coastal title. And to give you a little bit more kind of the meta knowledge, how to get this in your mind, it's basically as if the intercontinental title has been introduced for the first time.
Oh, that's the workers' title.
In that sense, yeah. So to put it out there for you. So I'll leave that to you. What are you doing? What's your guy doing? You want to introduce him a little bit and give a little info on him, and then if he's making it through the crowd, staying out, whatever we got going on.
Well, how old am I roughly?
So this is whatever 10 years before we start. So however you are, I forget to get your age of what your real time age is going to be. But
so we'll just say he's like late teens.
Perfect.
So he is trying to kind of slyly push his way, like his eyes are sort of locked on some of these pillars that he sees. And as he is kind of walking through, he's trying to kind of slither his way through people, like not really like lightly brushing against them, just trying to not be like felt. Like that kind of thing where it's like you're just kind of like trying to turn sideways and sort of walk through a crowd. But as he's going, he's just instinctively kind of reaching in pockets a little bit, trying to see if he can get any coin for himself. And he's just transfixed on all of these people. So specifically the guy with the long elvish hair, the smug looking guy, but also the one with the skull mask. And he's just enamored by this because this is, he's always kind of fancied himself as being larger than life, but these guys are really larger than life, and they've outdone even him. So
absolutely. If you want to roll any sleight of hands, I will say in this, the child or the younger age state, there's no modifiers. So it's just a straight roll if you want to roll for any while you're going through the crowd. See if you have any six. I won't make you roll a bunch, but just if you want to do even one.
Ooh, that's a 13.
13. All right. Yeah, I'd say you come away pretty slick. And one, you pull the kind of the match card pamphlet out of one that you didn't have before. It shows all of them, kind of gives their stats, kind of lines them up, has the presentation below it. In the bottom corner, you will see that it does say presented by Sulk Brogan. And you see this Eric Hogan, like bald eagle, very tight, white-headed feather, brown under, but it also has that yellow and red, just kind of bow around him. Very, kind of bandana tied, very full of itself, even in the picture, chest puffed out, almost superhero style. And you will know that it is a very, very raucously well-known and figurehead in the FWW and the wrestling movement for Faerun.
Eldrian feels a sense of disgust when he sees this guy.
And there's a lot of that too. So for everyone that's actually in the business or is actually kind of attempted or knows anybody in it, there is a bit of a disdain on that side. For every ounce of love the crowd has, there's a bit of a fuck that guy in every which way on the other side of it, on the actual business side. Mm-hmm. Except for, go ahead.
I was going to say, is he presented like a good guy?
Yeah, he is currently presented as the face of FWW, like as the one. He's presented as a superhero, and he presents himself that way.
Not my guy.
Yeah,
for various reasons.
I will say at this point he is very much presented as his, maybe the non-parody would be, throughout the early parts of wrestling becoming, big and popular. Mm-hmm. And with that, you do hear the crowd start to pick up, and you hear this loud, kind of pompous, like well-to-do music with like, big orchestra kind of playing. And if you want to look towards the entry ramp, because on one side, on the opposite of you, on the opposite side of the ring, so the part that you're approaching, To your right, if you look, is where the grandstands, like the fancy grandstands with tables and that are risen up above everybody else are. On the other side, it's just crowd, and on the opposite side of you is where the actual entrance ramp is, with some curtains and no jumbotron or anything like that, but a stage blocking area.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look across there, you will see two folks in just kind of gaudy rich people attire, like the type that are just kind of strutting down, kind of arm in arm, and you would know them to be Prince and Sophie McLady, the owners of FWW. And Prince on his shoulder has this, big kind of satchel that he's got strung over, not really showing what it is or anything like that yet. And he makes his way into the ring. And at any time, by the way, if you wanted to any more sneaky or moving or getting your position any better, that's totally fine. But when they make it into the ring and kind of start walking around, that's when you hear the crowd go absolutely just bananas. Goes off the chain. Decibel levels are just way crazy high. And you hear the music playing. I'm a real Eric Hoken. And just, you see the picture that gave you disgust is now strutting itself down the ramp and just taking all the time and attention, spinning around, taking in the crowd, getting them into it before he makes his way to the ring as well.
And I just kind of have a sour taste in my mouth seeing him, but I am eyeballing that satchel that Prince has.
And when he gets in there, when he gets in there, he will, go over and, Prince will hand him over the satchel, and he'll be ready to kind of open it up. But.
Okay. All right. And he's thinking Ladrian's thinking, he's seeing these people who are obviously very gaudy and very very gaudy, very showy, and he's thinking that maybe are these people rich? Could I get rich doing this, or could I simply take from the rich and get rich that way?
Yeah, and you would know. Has he spent time in Baldur's Gate just in general?
Yeah, he kind of makes his way through. He's a pickpocket, so he doesn't want to be known for anything specifically in any specific place. So he just kind of goes from place to place, trying to kind of just leave nothing but whispers.
Yeah. So yeah, you would look up and see the well-to-do bankers, the the dukes are all kind of starting to be present or in that area that's well guarded, like a guard at every step and that type of stuff. Like all the people that you have seen in your time in Baldur's Gate that you knew could give you a big score are like sitting up in that area, and and they're kind of waiting for the others to join. At this time, if you want to do like roll of perception or anything like that to see and look out to see if there's any particular marks that you see or anything like that, that's fine. Sure. At this time, the crowd's going to get loud again, and the three individuals that you saw on the pillars are going to start making their entrances.
That is a 5 on the perception check.
Okay, you just see money. Like, it's all up there. It doesn't really matter. Like, you can't pick anybody else that you would think would be an easy target or that you maybe had as a mark before. You just know that money is up there, and they're probably carrying it because that there's memorabilia and all this options to go see the wrestlers and all that stuff afterwards.
But there's a part of him that sees the money up in the raft or up in the balcony. But there's a part of him that thinks, well, that's the money that is paying money to see these people in the ring. So he might be thinking, could these people in the ring have more money because they are taking the money? Because he's thinking about taking the money of the people who are up there in the balcony without necessarily taking the money from the people up in the balcony.
I got you. The finding it at its end point and getting it. I got you. Yeah, and you would also know that that's something that they toted over everybody. Like, general admin was pretty either cheap or just free because all the well-to-do have put on this show and paid the FWW to be here, and they're the ones that are we're why you're able to enjoy this type of stuff. So yeah, you would see Lavender Lightning make her way to the ring, very confident. Very high flight luchador athleticism type. She gets into the ring, does kind of the somersault, pops up, and with the arms out wide to show off to the crowd and those types of things. Stunning Shoel, as you would think, just walks down, spending more time flicking his hair and looking to the crowd and pausing for them than anything. I would say Mr. Macho probably gets the loudest pop, and he's just all crowd, like reaching out for people that can reach to give them the high fives. Very much focused on the crowd instead. They get into the ring. So Brogan gives his little speech of, really, I'm the reason that this is even on, but I'm so excited for everybody to be here and you to have your opportunity. And like you can see the wrestlers in the ring, and they're kind of like, all right, we just want to go. Like, can you get out of here? But they're trying to put on their face. And then he opens the bag, and Prince McLady pulls it out, and it is this, 9 pounds of gold, this very gaudy, elegant, not as elegant as the actual not as elegant in the sense of minimalist as the Intercontinental title. Like, this is filigree over it, the kind of the coastline of the Sword Coast, like stars on it, Sword Coast, coastal title on it, and big, waiting for a big gaudy nameplate. And it gets strutted around the ring by Silk Brogan. And then finally they exit and kind of go up into the well-to-do area and sit at one of the front benches all together near like some of the dukes and things like that, and these other nobles. And then the bell rings, and the first lockup happens. The Stunning Shoel and Mr. Macho lock up. You kind of see Lavender Lightning kind of lean back into the corner a little bit and kind of wait and watch, waiting for one of them to break off. There's a quick toss and a slam, and then one of them does go over there and, catches a boot into the face. And then she does this, impressive moonsault type of thing, really getting the crowd going and those types of maneuvers.
So he looks in the crowd and he sees, or not the crowd, he looks in the ring and he sees a bit of himself in every single one of these people in the ring. Like he sees the cautious waiting in the corner to strike. He sees himself in that. He sees the Ponce showboating, of the other one, and he sees himself in that. And then he sees this rough and tumble, gruff Mr. Macho, and he sees a bit of himself in that. But he ultimately sees that gold belt that just got pulled out, and the only thing that he can think of is, that belongs to me. And if it doesn't now, it will soon.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously the crowd is going to be very focused on the match. Like, there's a lot going around and back and forth. At one point, Lavender actually gets thrown out of the ring, and you over and almost up to the barricade where people are standing. If you kind of look in that area, you'll easily see some larger folks. One with a smaller gentleman on his shoulders, and an orcs, kind of next to this elf of some sort anyway. Like, you kind of see some other folks, and if you really want to roll for perception, you might catch some other happenings that are happening. But you see people looking over at Lavender, like people are trying to get that closer look and really get the feel for what's going on, and she's playing it up, like you're supposed to.
That was another 5 on the perception check.
Okay, so yeah, you just kind of basically what I described. You just kind of see this crowd, and everybody's kind of enjoying their time. There is a little bit of kind of a ruckus over in that area. I will say it's pretty easy to see there's a bit of a ruckus with somebody trying to approach the well-to-do area and get up in that area, and the guards are stopping them.
Can I kind of make my way? So how far away is the well-to-do area?
I would say maybe 50 feet, a little bit more.
Okay. Can I kind of approach the area?
Yeah, for sure.
That little, yeah.
Yeah, you can make through the crowd. Like I said, every shift that you make is somebody trying to take that space and feel get closer to the front. So you can kind of glide through and make your way through pretty easy.
Sure. Yeah, I want to kind of glide my way over to the well-to-do area.
All right.
And I want to see. I want to kind of listen to see what's being said between the person who's trying to get in and the.
Yeah, you see this pretty large size already Goliath woman, and she's just trying to get up. She's saying that she just basically wants to speak to somebody, and the guard's like, "What are you talking? Like, you can't. Like, I can't let that happen. Like, this is there's important people here, and you're, he's catching flack." You hear another voice kind of speak out to it, and this guy's basically getting crapped on by everybody because he's trying to do his job, but at the same time, he's kind of being an ass about it himself. Until you do see Sophie McLady come up and start having the conversation as well. And at that point, where it's kind of more of like a person-to-person conversation. So if you want to get closer or listen in, you can, if you want to roll another perception or stealth to get closer, whatever you want to do.
What I was going to do is I was going to kind of walk up, and as I get around the area, I'm going to turn around backwards as if I was coming from the well-to-do area. And I'm going to kind of be like, he's going to be like,
and I will explain. And so I was to just make sure you're doing what you want to do. So there's steps that lead up where they're standing, and then a platform and a way to get into the seating, and then there's steps on the back side of it too, just for I didn't describe that before.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go up to the where the guard is, because do I see the back area just yet?
Yeah, you would you see how the structure is made if you were seeing that scene would let you see the whole situation.
All right. Well, he's kind of brazen, so he's kind of brazen right now, so he's feeling himself kind of thing. So rather than sneak at this moment, he's going to kind of try to back up, like he's backing up towards where the guard is, and he's kind of chastising the person who's trying to get in along with the guard. And he's going to kind of try to use that like to kind of back up into the stairs so he can walk up in there.
Man, I don't know if I want to it's not really sleight of hand, but I mean, if you're trying to be sneaky, I guess you can roll a stealth if you want. But yeah, because these two people, like, they're the other guards looking at you like, wait, what are you like doing? And that guy's already kind of backed off, like, what the hell? Like,
and I'm patting him, and I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and like, yeah, that's right, you keep him out of our area, like.
Yeah. So yeah, the other guard he's backed off because Sophie has like kind of waved them off as well. So they're just in that conversation kind of off to a side. And he's, he, like I said, the crowd was kind of crapping on one of them, and his other guard buddy wasn't really helping. So yeah, if you want to roll for that and try to just back in relatively unseen by anyone else.
That is a 15.
15?
There's no modifier. No modifier. Okay, so then yeah, 15.
Yeah, so I would let you. I would say, given the commotion and the conversation that I know happened and how in depth and emotional it was, I would say that you kind of you're like, the guard was like, they were confused, they're consoling each other after he was making fun of him, and you were kind of the pat on the back, and as he like stepped forward to make sure that nobody passed, you kind of just took that step backwards into his spot and then kept stepping, and I assume kind of turned around and made it casual.
Absolutely.
So you're now at the top of the steps, past the guards, and there's some that kind of walk back and forth just in case anybody gets rowdy or rich and drunk or whatnot. But yeah, they're just kind of paying attention more to the match than anything else because they feel like it's a secure area.
Well, he's going to act like he belongs there. He's going to walk up the stairs.
Oh yeah, you're at the stairs, and you have the platform where you can go down the other set to the back, or you can walk kind of behind where the owner and the dukes and the rich are, or to your right will be kind of where the bleachers start, and then the opposite side across from you is another set of 2 stairs that go back down on either side.
Now, which area was what was his name? Bulk Brogan, or what was it?
Sulk Brogan. Yeah, he's sitting right there with Prince and where Sophie. You assume Sophie. There's an open seat there because Sophie's actually over talking to the Goliath and whatnot. But you can.
So is there a seat behind him by chance?
No, there's just a walkway. Like, it's their kind of front row, open space, and kind of some guard and stuff like that. Because getting up to them has it does have its own other like kind of entrance way. Like, it's almost roped off for like just a set of long tables that's set up for some super important people. It's roped off, and then a guard kind of at the entrance where you would try to walk into there. And then there's a walking space, and then the bleachers start.
I'm going to sit. Can I sit in Sophie's seat?
If you want to try to get through the 2 guards that are there and go and sit in there, or jump the rope, or be kind of slick and smooth like that.
So that's the roped off area.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna walk up to the 2 guards that are that are down, or that are in front of the roped off area. And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna kind of slap one on the back and be like, Can you believe the lad that tried to sneak in here to our area?
Our area. You know, they kind of look at each other like they know like that you're not like they know the strict list that's supposed to be there, and they're like, I don't know about anything going on that. This is just this is our area, as you were saying, and nobody else is going to get in here.
Right. I'm just making conversation. What are you implying?
I'm implying that I'm trying to do my job, and that doesn't include conversation with folks. So he goes to say something because he assumes you don't belong here, but also he doesn't want to toe the line just in case you do, and you do happen to be someone that could get him fired. So he's like, it's just a very specific area with this list, and it requires my utmost attention.
And then I'm going to kind of lean in to him, kind of quiet, and I'm like, "You're doing a good job. Let's make sure you continue doing what you're supposed to do, and nothing bad will happen. I'd hate for someone to lose their job because they don't let somebody who belongs in."
Why would anything bad? Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a, the name is Valero. I'm sure you've heard.
I'm sure I haven't, because you're not on the list.
Oh, right. I wouldn't be on the list. I'm a +1.
Well, the +1s also have to be on the list, so...
there must have been an oversight, because I am supposed to be here. Clearly, why else would I be standing here unless I am supposed to be here?
Because you're trying to be somewhere you don't want to be? Or you want to be... Wait, no, you're here because... Then you hear the other guard kind of chuckle a bit, and he's like, "You'll get there." And he's like, "You're trying to be somewhere that you're not supposed to be." Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, right. I'm sure that I just walked right through those guards without them letting me in, I suppose.
And at that time, you actually see Sophie coming back and kind of returning to her seat, and she's like, "Oh, is there a problem?"
And he sees her and he's like, "Oh," because would I have heard her name being announced?
Yeah, like, this is Sophie McLady. You know that, like, the empty seat you were even eyeballing is absolutely her, sitting next to her dad, like, part owner of the company and reason that this is all going on.
Okay, and is she wearing any, like, gaudy jewelry or anything?
Oh, absolutely. Like, just rings or earrings, even kind of like a pendant and, a little bit of gold on the neck, and even the gaudiness of her kind of shirt outfit has, things mingled into it.
Now, does she have anything on her wrist that looks like it could be loosened, or is it...
I mean, there's some bracelets there.
Okay, so he's going to reach out his hand, and he's going to go, "Oh, Madam Sophie, charmed. Yes, hello. My name is Valero. I'm supposed to be in here, but there must be some sort of mix-up where my name wasn't properly added to the list. Probably some sort of oversight. Maybe somebody doesn't know how to write properly." And he reaches his hand out to shake hers,
and
while he's talking.
Yeah. If you want to just slide a hand to try and take anything, by all means.
I'm not trying to take anything just yet. I'm just
Gotcha.
trying to loosen it. Like, see if I can unclasp something to loosen it without her noticing.
And then she smiles wide, and if you want to roll perception or insight, even when she does it, you can. But she says this wide smile of, like, almost realization, like, "Oh, Valero, you're late. You were supposed to be here. Like, this gentlemen, this is our one of our new gentlemen that's trying to be a booker for our company. And so he's here to enlighten me on exactly how he would have booked this event."
And that was a 19 on my insight.
Okay, you can tell, like, she's bullshitting back. Like, she sees through you, and she wants to have fun. Like, she knows that this is going to be a little chaotic. Doesn't really give a shit who you are, but you have the balls to be here where you're standing, so she's going to push the envelope as well.
Right. And then so whenever she does that, whenever she says that, he's going to look up because I'm assuming the guards are really large, right?
Yeah,
Like a lot larger than me.
yeah.
And he's going to look up and he's going to get this look in his eye, like this smug sort of "I told you so" look, and this right into this guy and right into his eyes. Like he thought I wasn't supposed to be here. Well, look.
Yeah, and he looks over, like he tries to look straight, and he stands up straight. Like the other guy, like the other guard, is still like, dude, I'm just here to do my job, but you were whatever, man. Like he looks forward, but the guard that you were talking to is very like, oh, apologies, I was just trying to make sure I was doing the right thing.
Well, it's all right. I am a benevolent individual, so we will call it good for now.
I appreciate that, sir.
And he's gonna beat his chest and go, for the firstborn.
I don't.
It's an elven thing.
Oh, okay. And Sophie laughs. It's like, oh, and a chair would be nice. And then she steps forward, and the guard's like, shit, do I go get it? Do I? And then the other guard's looking at him like, yeah, go get a chair, dumbass. Like, pushes him. So he steps off to take a chair from the bleachers and turn it and sit it next to Sophie for you.
Okay, great. And I go and I sit next to Sophie.
And she's kind of leans towards you because Sulk and Prince and kind of they're all schmoozing. They don't even know that she sits back down. You can clear there's no real like familiar family love. Like this is a business family type of situation. You can kind of get that vibe immediately that they're gonna be like, okay, she's back, whatever. And leaning over, and so she kind of leads towards your side, and she said, "Well, a little young to be hustling so brazenly, aren't we?"
Well, so you've called my bluff, obviously. Little young, but almost there. I mean, but, well, if not doing it brazenly, if you can't do it brazenly, why do it at all?
Well, that's practically the family motto. Well, mine at least. So, what is it that you want?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I originally came up here to rob the eagle.
Sulk. Now that would be a delight, but unfortunately he's too loud about things, so maybe we'll have to be more subtle. How about an opportunity instead?
Well, that's what I was curious about, because I like to take money from people, and it seems like the lot of you are able to take money from people, and you don't have to commit crime to do it.
First, you have to understand and get to the idea that they give money. We take nothing.
Well, call it whatever you'd like, but the way that I see it...
My point is, there is a definitive difference that you have to learn if you want to be, what's the quote, above board?
Well, whether or not it is above board, I'm certain there is a bit of deception at play, which is why I call it taking money rather than having it given to you, because this whole program is deceiving, is it not? To some degree.
I mean, a show's a show and entertainment's entertainment.
Exactly.
So, are you interested in the opportunity or not?
It depends on what that opportunity is, but I'm open to hearing ideas.
What I need is sharp eyes and ears, and occasionally someone who's willing to put a hand in a pocket while looking the other way.
I love putting my hands in pockets.
I'm sure you do. I need someone who's willing to go around to these local talent and their shows in the various places and learn a thing or two, ingrain themselves. I mean, if you want to do what they do, by all means, but I just need reports and information on what they are doing, the prospects they have, and any inkling of, I don't know, the unionizations and banding together and taking down the man, as it were, all those situations. You know the types.
Of course.
I assure you, I wouldn't, not to cut you off, dear, but the only one that will take down the man will be the woman, and that is me.
Of course. I will accept your offer, and I'll tell you what, as a bonus, I'm going to give your bracelet back. Just say for flavor that I managed to take a bracelet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to give your bracelet back.
She smiled. She said, keep it and consider it your first down payment on services.
Wonderful. And I'm just going to put it back in his pocket.
Now, and as she says now, you hear just raucous booing coming from the crowd. Like everybody's upset. You look over and you catch the tail end of what was clearly like a not necessarily a sneaky thing, but Stunning Shoel just did the stunning moment on Lavender Lightning and did the pin, got the 1, 2, 3, and is now the first inaugural. That was redundant. Sword Coastal champion. And he starts to celebrating, and then you hear the crowd go crazy again as that Goliath you were talking about just jumps into the ring and lays into him out of nowhere and just starts slamming him and just beating the ever-living hell out of him out of nowhere. The crowd like gets shocked and cheers, but then isn't sure like what's happening, if it's supposed to be happening. The guards eventually pull her off. She's just raging all over the place, and they eventually kind of dig her out into the crowd. And Sophie's attention is on that. So, I mean, if you want to stick around or make a cool guy exit, that's up to you.
I'm going to walk up to the ropes. I'm going to I'm going to turn around and I'm just going to kind of tip my fingers and go, "You'll be hearing from me." And I'm going to go up to the ropes. And how much space is there between the two guards that are standing in front of the?
Oh, like the entry to the special people, the VIP section? You mean? Yeah, I would say there's about 5 feet between them.
Great. I'm going to somersault over the ropes between them.
All right. I'm gonna roll I'll give you I mean, if you're more acrobatic, I'll go with that. You want to go athletics? I'll take either for just a somersault.
14.
Oh yeah, you do a nice little forward somersault over it, and the guards are like, "What is with this guy?" No, the other guard's like, "I know she's supposed to be there, but all right, this is weird." Like they're kind of reacting like, but they can't leave their posts, so they just kind of watch it happen. And the crowd that's there kind of gives you like, "Oh, woo woo," like a claps, and they're like, "Yeah, that's amazing." Like they thought it was part of the show finalized, so you kind of get your flourish and carry on.
And I'm gonna turn to the crowd who's chanting, and I'm just gonna go, "For the firstborn."
And then you get some that are like, "Yeah, for the firstborn." What do we? Wait, for the firstborn, you kind of like those crowd chants that try to kick off, but they're not really sure. That type of situation.
And then I will make my leave.
All right. Well, that's where we're gonna call your younger years. Take a little bit of a break so the rest of the crew can join us for 10 years later.